Hence, the World Development Report 1994 has accorded to women the central place in the population policy because women and girls are discriminated in healthcare, educational attainment, and nutritional intake. In terms of access to food, it is a fact that in a crisis situation, women do not get their legitimate share of food because they distribute food to all the members of the family first, and then only they eat at last whatever remains. In rural areas, most of the women, after distributing food to the family members, can have only residuary food. Also, it is true that women of their own volition do take less nutritious food due to wrong perception about their position and requirement in the traditional culture and social setup of India. Further, in regard to healthcare, discrimination against females is also reflected in the type and relative frequency in utilizing the same. Available data show that men receive better medical treatment than women in all age groups. But this is more potential in case of children, more prominent in case of children. In this regard, Vidyut Mohanty has pointed out that even in Punjab, the second girl child is often neglected in terms of Medicare. This kind of discrimination against women cuts across castes and classes. She further illustrates that with regard to healthcare, only the women in Kerala have access to any worldwide medical facilities, partly because of their awareness. Recently, the women of Punjab too are reported to have acquired a better healthcare status. In India, discrimination starts from birth and it continues till adulthood. Let's have a glimpse. Let's have a look. In India, discrimination against girls starts from mother's womb. Though infanticide is a social crime and killing of girl fetus is a criminal offense according to the Preconception and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Act, in short PCPNDT 1994. These social and criminal offences against girls are continuing in Indian society irrespective of rural and urban areas. What is female feticide and female infanticide can well be understood from the words of P. Srivastava. He points out that female feticide is an act of destruction that causes death of a fetus. This is not a natural act but a deliberative one. This is called as sex-selective abortion. As the sex of an unborn baby is determined through medical techniques and the same is aborted if the sex turns out to be a female one. Killing of a girl child after birth is called female infanticide. That women of India in general and girl children in particular are discriminated against has been reflected in various census data. According to the latest census data of 2011, the sex ratio is 943, means 943 females per 1000 males, and child sex ratio is 919 girls per 1000 boys. In 2001, the overall sex ratio was 933 and child sex ratio was 927 is to 1000. It shows that child sex ratio and has been reduced. A marginal increase is visible in these respect in all India perspective. The census data show that in more than 50% of the states the sex ratio is below the marginal level. Vidyut Mohanty in one of her articles points out that however in the younger age groups the female mortality rate has been higher than that of males, leading thereby to a missing 100 million women in successive censuses. But the most disturbing point regarding women is that the visible and invisible violence against them is increasing. The crudest form of violence is killing girl children before they are even born. This is prevalent even in the metropolitan cities of Bombay and Delhi, where aborting of the female fetus is widely resorted to. Persons in small towns and villages also eliminate the girl child because of poverty in most cases, but mostly because of bias. In many cases, it is consumerism and commodification of women which has led to this kind of situation in India. Again, Vidyut Mohanty lays out the grim situation of female infanticide in some states of India. She asserts that even today, female babies are killed by the midwives in Bihar on payment of just rupees 60 and a shari. This is done not only among members of the high castes but also those of the lower castes. Economically, women possess weak bargaining power except perhaps in some parts of the northeast and Kerala. As a result of killing of female babies, the numbers of girl children have reduced to such an abnormal level. Eminent Nobel laureate economist Professor Amartya Sen said that about 100 million girl children have been either aborted before birth, killed after birth, or neglected to death. The question of empowerment of women and girls comes only after the birth of a girl child. It became evident from the above discussions of Mohanty and Sen that millions of girls are not allowed to see the light of this world. This issue of adverse child sex ratio was re-emerged as a major challenge in the 1970s. In India, the issue of the adverse sex ratio has been a part of our history since at least the colonial period. You see the situation. Despite a positive sign at national level sex ratio, the child sex ratio is not satisfactory as it came down from 927 in 2001 to 919 in 2011, indicating a strong male preference by the husbands and families. Dr. Sheetal Sharma in a recent article asserts that the statistics in a way reveals skewed sex ratio and preference for a male child by families in India that has also led to evils like female infanticide or feticide. The discrimination, which in many cases starts even before a girl child is born, continues all along her life. Similar view was propounded by Charan Singh. He utters that the persistence of adverse sex ratio is mainly because of high preference for sons. So, in short, this is the situation of girl child or unborn baby in India. As the video is being longer, I'd like to cut the video here. Please follow my later videos where I will highlight more gender discrimination in every sphere of society in India. Thank you. Thank you very much.